There were also questions around the roles that cutting of trees would play in emissions. And there is in the calculation, there is an accounting for the loss of forest.
But for the first time in 150 years, Massachusetts is seeing a decline in forest cover as new roads, houses, and commercial development permanently change the landscape.
Not be able to pick up all the forestry actions in the state because we're looking again for statewide methodology. And so the current methodology that we have, obviously we would like to improve upon this as science and data become available.
So here's an article published in 2010, but it's actually from research in 2009, showing how intact forests that are not broken up, have the best sequestration rates. And that's right here. Northeastern US is us, Massachusetts. So interesting, back in 2009, the Department of Conservation and Recreation created this Forest Futures visioning process. And there were all kinds of scientific experts who were on this technical steering committee. And they made a bunch of recommendations, including, most specifically, shifting the forest management paradigm. That's what we don't see happening. This is from 2009. The recommendation has already been there. Now, we've also had dire warnings that if we make the wrong land use decisions, we're going to be in trouble. This groundbreaking study from Harvard University's Harvard Forest and the Smithsonian Institution reveals that, if left unchecked, recent trends in the loss of forests to development will undermine significant land conservation gains in Massachusetts, jeopardize water quality, and limit the natural landscape's ability to protect against climate change. This was completed in 2013.
At this moment, the methodology is at a scale at least 30 meter or more resolution scale, and so we won't be able to assess all the different cutting.
Less carbon stored, poorer access to the woods for harvesting, and fewer large unfragmented blocks of forest for wildlife habitat. So in effect, a diminished future for ourselves, our children, and our communities.
The scenario called Forest as Infrastructure projects a more promising future. It shows that increased land conservation, clustered new development, and improved timber harvest practices would produce many measurable benefits.
Unless it's like big scale cutting, then it will show up in the spatial imagery that we use for our analysis. But we also, in between years where we have the spatial information, we interpolate the loss of forest with the number of building permits. So that is one way for us to kind of figure out what the trend is in between data points. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
For the net zero 2050 target, we would be, we're working out how to take all of these factors into consideration.
In addition to the evidence of trends provided almost a decade ago, and the advice of the Forest Futures visioning process, which was re-amplified in 2016. The way to factor in the forest to the methodology and the algorithm is to chart a new course that embraces a land management paradigm shift to understand the forest as a comprehensive suite of ecosystem services. An article just last summer explains in very, very plain terms that intact forests are the most carbon-dense and biodiverse terrestrial ecosystems, and that our U.S. temperate and boreal forests remove sufficient atmospheric CO2 to reduce the national annual net emissions by 11%, and they have the potential to do even more, especially in intact and older forests, which is what Massachusetts needs to do with our forests. Growing existing forests intact to their ecological potential, which is called proforestation, is effective, immediate, and low cost. It serves the greatest public good by maximizing all of the co-benefits, including biological carbon sequestration and unparalleled ecosystem services.
These outcomes would make the Commonwealth economically stronger and more resilient to the impacts of climate change.
Yeah, well, the forest cover itself is important, but it's the big chunks of continuous forest that provide us with the most value.
Ideas and comments on this are welcome as folks might react to the 2050 level.
The Massachusetts landscape. A full 60% of the state is covered by forest. These woods absorb floodwaters, help clean our air and water, and store carbon that would otherwise warm the earth.